When I decided to get a dog, I pictured myself as the leader, the provider, the one in charge. I imagined long walks in the park, teaching tricks and being the one to set the rules. I thought I'd be the one shaping a young pup's life, guiding him with patience and love, and that he'd look up to me as his hero. I spent hours researching breeds, reading training tips, and even practicing my firm but gentle voice in the mirror. I was ready to be a responsible dog parent, or so I thought. But the scruffy terrier I picked out, Buster, had other plans. From the moment I saw him at the shelter, he had this glint in his eye, like he already knew something I didn't. He wasn't just looking for a home, he was looking for a project. And apparently that project was me. From the moment he arrived, he inspected every room like a tiny landlord, judging my decor and life choices with a single look. He strutted through the house, nose in the air, pausing at every corner as if mentally taking notes. I could almost hear him thinking, that rug is questionable, and those curtains, we'll have to talk about those. I set up a cozy bed and toys, but he claimed my armchair as his throne and made it clear who was boss. The expensive orthopedic dog bed I bought, ignored. The basket of squeaky toys, barely a glance. Instead, he hopped onto my favorite chair, settled in with a regal air, and gave me a look that said, "This is mine now. You may use the floor." What I thought were cute nudges for attention were actually non-negotiable demands. If I dared to ignore him, he'd escalate. First a nudge, then a paw on my knee, and finally a pointed stare that brooked no argument. It was as if he had a schedule in mind and I was already running late. His sighs weren't just him settling in, they were critiques of my music and my housekeeping. If I played a song he didn't like, he'd flop down with a dramatic groan. If the living room was messy, he'd give me a look of pure disappointment, as if to say, "Is this really how we're living now?" Within a week it was obvious. Buster set the rules, not me. He had a way of communicating exactly what he wanted, whether it was a walk, a treat, or just a change in the TV channel. I found myself asking for his approval before making plans. And somehow he always had the final say. Bedtime, walks, even TV time, he decided it all. If I stayed up too late, he'd stand by the bedroom door waiting for me to follow. If I tried to watch something he didn't like, he'd sit on the remote until I changed the channel. Our daily routine was no longer mine, it was his, and I was just along for the ride. I thought I was adopting a dog, but I got a furry, opinionated father figure. He's got rules, standards, and a knack for keeping me in line. Sometimes I catch him watching me with that wise, slightly disapproving look, and I can't help but laugh at how the tables have turned. And honestly, my life's never been more structured or more hilarious. Every day is an adventure with Buster in charge. He keeps me on my toes, makes me laugh, and reminds me that sometimes the best leaders are the ones with 4 paws and a stubborn streak. I wouldn't have it any other way. My peaceful mornings vanished the day Buster arrived. Now my alarm is a wet nose and a groan of disappointment in my laziness. If I ignore him, he escalates. Gentle paw taps become relentless drumming, sighs grow louder. Hiding under the duvet, he sees it as a challenge. Once I'm up, he supervises every move, judging my sock choices and timing my teeth brushing. The walk and his breakfast are non-negotiable and must happen on his schedule. There's no dawdling in Buster's world. As much as I grumble, his routine has brought order to my life. I'm up earlier, get fresh air, and start my day with purpose, serving my demanding terrier. He's the boss, the dad, and my personal wake-up call. Annoying? Yes. Endearing? Absolutely. In Buster's world, all food is his business. My kitchen is his office, and every fridge opening is a full inspection. He appears instantly, eyes wide, nose twitching, cataloging every item. He's not begging, he's supervising, making sure I share. If I eat something unhealthy or just don't share, I get the side eye of shame. I've resorted to sneaking snacks in the pantry, but he always finds me. The crinkle of a crisp packet summons him from anywhere. He's a food detective, always one step ahead. I pretend to get water, dash for snacks, but he's waiting, judging. He's my dietitian, food critic, and the furry guardian of my snacking habits. And honestly, he's probably right about the biscuits. Buster's authority extends far beyond the usual dog duties. He's taken it upon himself to be the sheriff of my entire social life. It's as if he's appointed himself the official overseer of my comings and goings, and he takes this job very seriously. If I come home late, there's no sneaking past him. He's always waiting in the hallway, planted firmly by the door, giving me the kind of disappointed dad stare that makes me instantly regret staying out. There's no barking, no dramatic display, just a cold, silent treatment that speaks volumes. He'll let out a world-weary sigh as if to say, "I expected better from you," and then turn away, leaving me to stew in my guilt. I actually find myself crouching down to apologize, rambling on about where I was and why I'm late, like a teenager caught sneaking in after curfew. It's ridiculous, but somehow I feel compelled to explain myself to this little four-legged authority figure. When friends come over, Buster transforms into the official greeter and bouncer. He's right at the door, sniffing everyone with a thoroughness that would put airport security to shame, making sure each guest passes his inspection before they're allowed inside. If someone meets his approval, he'll reward them with a wag of his tail and maybe even a little happy dance. But if he's not sure about someone, he'll plant himself protectively between us, making it clear that he's watching their every move. Hugs and close moments are always interrupted by a wet nose poking in between. Apparently, he's the only one allowed that level of affection, and he's not shy about enforcing the rule. It's his way of reminding everyone who's really in charge of my heart. It's honestly hilarious to watch him command a room full of adults. People twice his size end up tiptoeing around his rules, laughing as he struts through the living room like he owns the place. He manages my friendships with a careful eye, making sure only the truly worthy are allowed to join his pack. If someone new comes around, he'll inspect them thoroughly, and only after his approval do they get to be part of our inner circle. But underneath all the bossiness and the rules, it's really just love and protection. He wants to make sure I'm safe, happy, and surrounded by good people. In his own scruffy, stubborn way, he's my dad, my bouncer, my best mate, and my most loyal companion, all rolled into one. Life with Buster is never boring, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Buster, my pint-sized bodyguard, takes his job seriously. Every walk is a security patrol. Tail high, ears swiveling, scanning for threats. A plastic bag, potential danger. Squirrel, suspicious character. Strangers get a firm stance and a deep woof. That's close enough! The postman is his arch nemesis, and every letterbox rattle triggers a full-scale defense. He races to the door, barking fiercely, convinced he's saving me from disaster. I've tried to explain, but to Buster, the postman is a daily villain. It's funny being protected by something so small, but his bravery is touching. In his heart, he's a valiant knight, my little shadow and protector. Every knock at the door is a dragon to be slain, and I feel safer with my tiny, furry bodyguard always on duty. In our house, Buster strictly regulates all affection. He's the cuddle interceptor. If I hug anyone, he's instantly there, breaking it up. He wedges himself between us, demanding his share of attention. Friends and family no hugs with me are always interrupted by a jealous terrier. Even inanimate objects aren't safe. Cushions and teddy bears are rivals for my affection. He'll nudge them aside and reclaim his spot on my lap. His possessiveness is hilarious and a little absurd, but it all comes from love. He just wants to be the center of my universe. He's not just a dog, he's a loving, slightly neurotic dad, and I wouldn't trade his jealous interruptions for anything. For all his bossiness, Buster has a gentle, intuitive side. When I'm sad, he senses it before I say a word. The drill sergeant disappears, replaced by a quiet comforter. He'll curl up beside me, head on my lap, offering silent support. No demands, no fuss, just a warm, steady presence. One tough day, he simply placed a paw on my knee and looked at me, and it was exactly what I needed. In those moments, he's not my boss. He's my confidant, my anchor. His care is deep, his love unconditional. His bossiness is just another way of showing he cares. When it matters most, he's there, offering comfort without words. It's a beautiful unspoken language we share, and it's the most precious gift he gives me. Living with a dog who thinks he's your dad is both hilarious and heartwarming. Every day, I wake up to the sound of little paws tapping on the floor, as if he's checking to make sure I'm up on time. He sits by the door, waiting for me to get ready, and if I'm running late, he gives me that look. Equal parts disapproval and concern. It's like having a tiny, furry supervisor who never takes a day off. My life is now run by a tiny, furry CEO, unsolicited advice, strict routines and all. He insists on morning walks at the same time every day, and if I dare to skip one, he'll remind me with a persistent nudge or a dramatic sigh. He even supervises my breakfast, making sure I don't forget to share a bite of toast. For every moment of frustration, there are 100 moments of joy. He has a knack for making me laugh, whether he's chasing his tail or trying to help with chores by stealing socks. Even on tough days, his goofy antics and unconditional love remind me that life is better with a dog by your side. The welcome home, the happy dance, the loyal protection. He's brought laughter and love into my life. No matter how stressful my day has been, seeing his wagging tail and bright eyes instantly lifts my spirits. He's always there, ready to celebrate the little things like my return from the grocery store as if I've been gone for years. He may be the boss, but he's the best boss I've ever had. He leads with kindness, patience, and a sense of humor that never fails to brighten my day. Our bond is built on trust, belly rubs, and shared snacks. Pets turn our lives upside down and steal our hearts in the process. They teach us to slow down, to appreciate the simple joys, and to find happiness in the everyday moments we might otherwise overlook. They teach us about love, patience, and the joy of routine. Every walk, every cuddle, every shared adventure becomes a cherished memory. My dog has shown me that sometimes the best leaders are the ones who lead with their hearts. If your pet acts like they're in charge, cherish it, because a home run by a dog is a home filled with love. The messes, the routines, the little quirks, they all add up to a life that's richer and more joyful than I ever imagined. Buster may think he's my dad, and honestly, he does a great job. I wouldn't trade my bossy, loving companion for any